All right, mate. Yeah, I almost forgot about your message. I meant to get back to you, and I kind of left it a bit late. Not that it's going to change Hunt or anything. Hunt is still down 3%. You're asking why you expected. Well, I posted about Hunt a few times. I didn't trace this back to see. No, see if we'd done a search in the group or whatever. You would see that I did post about Hunt before, when it was before it broke down here. Let's look at this. Before it actually broke down in this area. I've got it here on the chart actually. I should just look at the chart. Before it broke down here, I said that it looked like ADA, and it reminded me of ADA back in the crash of 2008 or 2018. Before ADA broke down here, because I don't like the pattern, I don't like the strength, I don't like the lower highs, I don't like the way it's trapped under moving averages, I don't like the bear trend. I don't like it as far as relation to the bulls are concerned. It didn't look to me like it was going to break up, and Hunt was very much the same. It was trapped under moving averages in a bear market, in a bearish pattern, in a bear downtrend, with a rolling over pattern with lower highs. So I just didn't like the look of it, and as expected, it rejected off this white 100 and then continued to roll down a little bit like ADA. Now you're asking me, where is the lows? That is another good question that we will, I always like to be reactive in the market. It's all good and well in calling that I think, the low is going to be at X price or whatever. I've got an alarm down here. A measured move is load the boat. So I must have set that, I don't know, 6 months ago, I don't know how many months ago. But just looking at this pattern, I'm going to guess that this head and shoulders, this bearish head and shoulders, actually I want to delete this alarm because I've ran out of alarms, and I don't need this alarm anytime soon. So I want alarms on the lows, not alarms on the highs yet. So yeah, I need all the alarms I can get. I'm already into my second profile, my second TradingView account, because I ran out of alarms on my first account. No, I'm wrong on that then. This is minus $25, so it's not that one. But that's a breakdown of a neckline. I wonder which measured move that I used then. Interesting. So, well, maybe here. 1, 2, nah. Yeah, okay, so you can see the measured move right here, this one. So if I take that and you move that to the next one, you can see exactly kind of where that takes us. And I'm not too sure, like, is this the measured move I was thinking of, from here down to here? It seems to be, and it seems to line up with this pivot right here. Again, I'm not sure what my thought process. I should really label things better, especially stuff like this. But at this point, this because this is the move, and then you get the retrace, and then you get the next move. So it seems to be that is the move that I was thinking about when I done that. At this point, Hunt is down 93.5%. That alarm that I've drew down below would bring Hunt, down to 96% down. If it gets there, well, load the boat level. It seems to be a load the boat level if we got down there. Now, I know Sam was not a fan of this yesterday and saying it was going to zero because of the high electricity costs and the fact that it's losing money now and stuff like that. So, that would need some investigation. Sam's obviously done his homework on it. I do not know the fundamentals of it. Like most coins, I usually have no interest in the fundamentals. Don't get me wrong. If you're long-term investing, of course it's good to know the fundamentals. If I want to be investing long-term, then I will look into the coin. I prefer to keep my trading open. What's the word I'm looking for? Open-minded, unbiased. I like to use the chart and it's unbiased. If you know all the fundamentals of a coin and everything else, sometimes it can skew your thought process and all the rest. But of course, bear markets are the best time to be looking at fundamental coins because you can start getting some really good coins for cheap. If we look at ADA over here, if you take the depth of the pattern right here, the depth of the pattern right here, very roughly, and you take that from the breakdown point. You can see from the breakdown point right here, and if I take that and move that and kind of extrapolate it on down, it's almost identical, or sorry, is that the right word? It's almost perfectly two depths of the pattern, right? So if you take that from here and it moves down to there, roughly, I don't know if I've done that very right there, but it's pretty close. But it gives us a ballpark of a figure to work with. You know, if we took that there, move that from, we can call that from to there, and again, you know, we don't know if it's going to work out this way or not, and move that down. No, that's very bad. So none of these measured moves are really lining up very well at all today. So Hunt does not have the same room as ADA done. Well, that's good to know. You know, it's all about removing possibilities and finding out what is the more real possibility. Well, this pivot right here is a major pivot, right? Markets love to either create the higher low, or like here you can see we created the higher low right here, and then an uptrend ensued, right? You obviously can see where it went after creating the higher low, or higher higher low, yeah. And here you can see that we have a major pivot. It's the lowest pivot, you know, bar the range. It's the lowest pivot on the entire chart. So is the market going to come down and aim for that pivot? It would actually fill this volume gap down here, right in here. If we come down into this alarm, you can see there's more volume support in here. So if there was another leg down, you have to start thinking around this pivot area is going to be very important. That is the measured move area. That is, you can see here, it's the scene of the crime is right down here. So, you know, with eliminating some of them possibilities, we have to start thinking that there is a real possibility that the low for Hunt can be somewhere down here. And we do know already that that was a 96% drop, 96 to 97% drop was in that alarm. That is also the scene of the crime where price originally broke out from. If price fell into this green box area, you know, you have to be a big fan of Hunt there, thinking that should be a good place to accumulate. Even if it does die, like Sam said, there is usually, you know, some sort of a reactions of it. Off major levels, and at this point, you know, you have to think that is a major level. We are kind of into this. And this video is 8 minutes long now. I didn't mean it to be so long, but it's a very interesting chart. We are into this cluster here, and an important thing I want to note and point out. Look how ADA bottomed. Right, see here, we actually got the bounce first off the lows, but that wasn't the real bottom. We created a bottom, we got a fake bounce, we came down, we stop hunted the lows, and then we moved up again, right, and then we moved away. So if you take the same principle to Hunt here, well, it's dropping pretty hard. You have to think that the first bounce might be a fake out, and then the second bounce could go lower, for example, and then that can be a better buying opportunity, because then it allows you to break structure and you can bounce back up, and that's a deviation, and then you can move away from that. So for me, you know, in looking at everything, at this point you have to think that somewhere down close to that pivot, right, either just above it or just below it, because it's such an important level on the chart. It's also the scene of the crime, right? If price drops below 193, I mean, that's a real gift to be buying in that area. That's basically exactly a 50% drop from here, and that should be a gift. But in the meantime, we need to watch the pivot, and that pivot, you can see right here, is at this alarm right down in here, which is only, well, when I say only, I mean it's a 30 to 35% drop. That's when I would get really interested in Hunt. Until then, we need to watch carefully. Very important to be reactive in the market.